Money's moving to me. I'm a millionaire. This money better cases. I ain't gotta chase it.
Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? Happy Wednesday to you all. I hope that you've had an amazing day thus far. If not, it's about to get that much better. Listen, it is late here on the East Coast, but you know what? I had to come and share this with you all. I don't plan on being before you long, but I still want to go ahead and share this message. So if you're watching me live, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. Rep your city, rep your country. Let me know where in the virtual building you are watching from, because tonight I want to share some tips with you that I know are powerful that can get you from desire to manifestation. Okay, I probably should have titled the video that. But either way, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. I'm going to go and get started with my intro, as I always do. My name is Sharita Leon. I went from being a homeless, disabled, single mom to a two-time #1 best-selling author with books that won the bestsellers list for over 2 years straight. I'm also a life, relationship, and business coach and internet marketing strategist, international speaker, the protege of the legendary Les Brown, a forex trader and investor, and I empower my tribe to live their God-given purpose while creating wealth and have healthy relationships. I'm also a believer, and my faith is included in all that I do. So welcome, beautiful people. So tonight, I want to share with you how to go and align with what it is that you desire, right? Now, if you have been watching me for some time, watching my videos, especially in the latter part of this year, you would hear me often mention that whatever you want actually resides somewhere, right? What you want is already existent. You're not trying to make it come to pass. You're not hoping it's something that's created. It already is. For example, if you are a single wife, shout out to my single wives club, right? If you are a single wife, you know that your husband exists out there somewhere, right? You're not thinking that God's going to create someone from the dust of the earth to poof, make them come to pass. He is somewhere. You just don't know where he is, right? You may not know who he is, but he exists. So it is for what you want, whether it's more money, whether it's a better body, whether it's your health, whether it's a new opportunity, whether it's manifesting a new job position, whether it's becoming a best-selling author or a singer or international speaker, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever you want already exists. I need you to get that. Whatever you want already exists. So because it exists, we then have to realize that it's for us to align with that very thing to bring it into this natural realm in which we live in, right? Now, you may have heard me say oftentimes that what you want is in a certain frequency, right? It is somewhere already in the spiritual playing field, right? It's already in the spirit. And we know that to be true because God says in his word that he has already given us all things that pertain unto life and godliness, right? He had, meaning it's past tense, is already done. He also has said that it was finished. When he created the world in the beginning, he said it was done. It was complete. Jesus came, gave the ghost, and said, "What? It was finished." So there is nothing new under the sun, as we see in Ecclesiastes, right? So if there's nothing new under the sun, God said it was done and completed when he did the world back in the creation of time. Jesus gave up the ghost and said it was finished. So that means everything is already done. The person that you need to become already exists. So if that's the wife, if that's the multimillionaire, if that is the doctor, if that is the mother, whatever it is that you desire, it already is somewhere. So how do we get to that place? How do we bring it from the unseen world? How do we tap into our other side, right? Well, the first thing is to acknowledge first that you are a spirit. You are a spirit who lives in a body, who has a soul, right? We are spirit first. And our spirit is our true self, right? The spirit is our true self. So once we're able to realize that who we are is spirit first, who we are is the extension of God himself on the earth, we then know that we can tap into the behavior of God. Because God made us in what? His image and his likeness, which then means we should move and operate like God. Whenever God wanted something, he spoke and he created, right? So that means everything he already had within himself. And so it is with us. Everything we desire is within us. So now we have to align with that idea. align with that desire. So how do we do that, Sharita? Well, one of the ways that you have to first align or get into alignment with what you desire is to first be clear and specific as to what it is you desire. Most of us are quicker to say what we don't want rather than what we actually want. As a coach who has coached thousands of people, I'm often hearing people say things like, well, I want more money. I want a happy relationship. I want to be debt free. All of those things are so vague. How much money do you want to make? Break that down to yearly, monthly, hourly if you have to, but you have to be clear on what that thing is. What is a happy relationship for you? For someone, a happy relationship may be, their husband coming home every night, being peaceful, and going on vacation twice a year. That's somebody's definition of happy, a happy relationship. For someone else, a happy relationship may be having my husband home with me, working our businesses together. That may be us going and traveling every quarter. That may mean him cooking and I cook sometimes. Being clear and specific as to what you want. When you can get clear as to what you want, you now move that much closer to getting to alignment with that very thing, because now you have a target. You have a goal. You're not just out here hoping and wishing for random things to happen, but now you're specific. And now with you becoming specific, you can now have a clear vision of that thing coming into alignment. When you know what it is that you want, you can see it. You now place yourself in that place in the spirit world. So if you see yourself as a wife to a man of power, a man of godliness, a man of structure, stature, a man of financial means, and you know what he does, what he looks like, how he makes you feel, you can see that clear and precise. And now because you can see it clearly, you can also feel it clearly. Feeling is a very important part of your alignment, right? So now you can feel what it is that you want. You can see what you want. You're tapping into your senses. And now what happens is you are making yourself come down much closer with that very thing, because as you feel it, it becomes real. See, it has to be real for you in order for it to actually manifest. If it's not real for you, it's just a great idea. And that's why you'll see you can find someone doing the same exact thing as someone else. One person gets results and the other person doesn't. You're like, what the heck? I know I do what you told me to do. But for one person, it was real. For one person, it became their identity. They received it. This is why in the word, Jesus says, when you pray, believe you receive and it's already yours. Believe you receive. You're not pretending. You've known that it's a fact. It's done. It's finished. It's already what it is, right? And so that's what happens when you align with something. You see it as a truth, not just a fact, but a truth, because your truth will always outweigh the facts. The facts may be the tangible things you see around you, the things that you feel. Those are the facts. The truth is what is divine. The truth is what is God's word and promise over you in your life. And so when you're able to receive it as done, the moment you pray for it, you speak it, you see it, you feel it, it's real. Now, what happens when something becomes real? When something becomes real, you now act like it's already done. Hello, somebody. When something is real to you, you move like it's done. You're not waiting for confirmation from anyone. You're not waiting for confirmation in your bank account. You know that it is done because it's real. So now you start acting it out. You have to act like the person who has whatever you want before it ever manifests. One thing that anyone who knows me personally, especially my sister, I wish she was on here so she could tell y'all. Before I ever manifested any of the things that I manifested in my life, I was that girl in my head first, and I moved that way. Like no one could tell me that, okay, who does she think she is? Oh no, not who. I'm gonna tell you who I am. Not who I think I am. I'm gonna tell you who I am. Because it became real to me. No one could take me outside of that space. And so because it became real to me, I spoke as such. I moved as such. So now it brought me in alignment with the very thing that I said I wanted because I identified and agreed with its truth. And that's what you have to do. Hey, Kay, you have to agree with that. And what happens is once you agree with it and it becomes real to you, guess what? Other people now see it as real. They feel you when you're speaking. They can feel something when they're around you. And this is how you attract the right people into your life. You might need one person right now that has the means to invest in your business. Or maybe they have the connections and they are willing to give you their connections for free because they could feel something with you. I've had people come and do things for me because they like, there's something about you. I just feel something with you. So I have to do this for you. No strings attached. Because I've already aligned with my desire. I've already received it as a truth. So now because of that, people want to sow into that. People want to align with that. People want to feel close to that. And now you start seeing bit by bit the manifestation of the things that you say you desire. You've tuned into the proper frequency. You've turned the knob. Sometimes, back in the day, right? I'm about to age myself. When we had a regular radio, right? I don't even know if they have regular radios anymore. We would have the hanger. Y'all remember the hanger? You would get the hanger and you would put it in the antenna if the antenna broke. And sometimes you would have to move that antenna a certain way to get the right frequency. Anybody remember that? You would have to move it. And if you move just a little too much, you might miss the station, right? Well, that's how it is for us when it comes into the world of knowing who we are and getting into the spiritual world to get what belongs to us. Okay? When Jesus was able to speak over the bread and the fish to feed those thousands of people, he tapped into an unlimited resource that belonged to him outside of this natural playing field. And so because he tapped into the abundance that he knew was his, he tapped into no limits. He was able to multiply that food to feed thousands of people and then have leftovers because he knew there was no such thing as a boundary. He knew there was no such thing as lack. So he could always align with what he needed because he always knew that he could. Everything was always a truth to him because he knew who he was. And so he could be there to align and boom, speak, and it happens like this. But the challenge for us comes in when we believe more in us being a human and not being spiritual first, not being a spirit first. People often say things like, I'm only human. No, you're not. Stop saying that. Don't let that come out of your mouth anymore. You are not only human. You're part human, right? You're part human. So we've kind of gotten accustomed to what the natural way of doing things is. We probably know the human side of things, but most people don't know their spiritual self, which is their true self. They don't know that person. They don't know how to tap into that. So anything else they'll shut away from. Oh, that sounds spooky. What is she talking about? But that's the real you. I mean, look at our model. If you call yourself a Christian or you follow the beliefs of Christianity, your model is Jesus. He is the example. He is the example. And so if he is the example, I am to operate like that. And in fact, I'm supposed to do greater works. That's what the word says, right? And so we have to change our thinking to stop being this level-minded person of all things natural and believe that we could speak and decree a thing and watch it be established. That we could focus on something for so long, see it clearly, feel it, and consistently make it come to pass. The challenge is real life happens. because nobody here's a monk, right? Nobody's sitting in a temple somewhere just meditating all day. That's just not what's happening. You have life, you have children, you may have a spouse, you have work, you may have businesses, you have all of these distractions that take you away from being able to focus on one thing. But the truth is, the moment you're able to discipline your beliefs, to discipline your thoughts, is the moment you actually win. If this is making sense, say yes. We have to be faithful over our beliefs. We have to be faithful over our thoughts. We have to be faithful over our own commitments spiritually for them to come to pass. So you have to be tuned into yourself and your emotions so that you have more control over what you know rather than what you may see or feel that is contrary to the end goal. So to get into alignment, you have to be clear. You have to be clear, you have to be specific. And then you being clear and specific, now you can create the image in your mind. In the book of Joshua, God says to Joshua, meditate on the word day and night. Meditate day and night so that way you can have good success. A translation of that word meditate actually means to murmur. So to say over and over again, day and night. That's how some other spiritual groups get into chanting, because they're constantly saying something over and over. Meditate the word day and night, murmur it day and night, and then you'll have good success. How? Why would you have good success by meditating on it day and night? Because you're putting it at the forefront of your mind day and night. When you wake up in the morning, what are you thinking about? What are you visualizing? When you're going to sleep at night, what are you thinking about? What are you visualizing? How are you being faithful to what you say you want to actually bring into your natural realm? The discipline will come when you make a decision to align and to have the very thing you say you want. And to believe more in the unseen than what you're actually seeing. I mean, the word tells you that. What we see is temporal. That's temporary. Everything we see here is temporary. But what is unseen, that's the real stuff. The real world is outside of all this that we see. But we're taught to believe in this metal more than the thought that created it. The thought that created that phone was more real than actually having the phone in our hands. If the thought was never that real to the person that created the phone, it would have never come to pass. I need y'all to get this. The thought to create the phone was more real than the fact that that phone had never been created before, that no one's had it, that what would it look like? No one's ever seen it before. The thought of it being more real in the spirit is what brought the actual tangible manifestation of the phone. Which then means the very thought, the very desire that you have in your heart right now for the business, the marriage, the health, the missions work, the ministry, the relationship, the weight loss, whatever, that thought, if you have it, is more real than it actually being right here, right now. But you have to steward that thought. You have to be consistent in seeing the thought, feeling the thought, acting as if you already have the thought for it to actually come into this natural playing field. And so that is a journey. That is not something that happens overnight. Hello, somebody. Because you could be real excited today. Oh, I'm doing really good. I just got 2 new business partners. I just signed this nice contract. Oh, I just met me a new boo. He fine. all of that, and then boom, you go outside, someone scratches your car, and now you're pissed off, and now you forgot about everything, and your frequency just went all the way down. And now you go into, oh my gosh, why is everything always happening to me? If it's not one thing, it's another. When it rains, it pours. You just went and switched out all of the things that you were working for the moment that one thing happened, and you let it trigger all of the other things. So this has to come with consciousness and come with an awareness of, no, I am not going to let this mess me up today. I remember, and so crazy how I remember all these years later, well over 10 years later, before everybody knew who E.T. was, right? I remember Eric telling me, you don't have bad days. You have bad moments. I was like 16 when he said that. You don't have bad days, you have bad moments. And since then, I have worked on having bad moments and not bad days. Because it all boils down to a thought that we can either choose to have or release. And this is the thing. Whatever you pay attention to grows, it magnifies. So if I put all of my attention to what is going wrong, I'm going to magnify what is going wrong. But most people are accustomed to doing that, which is why they have the results they have. Coach Dion said it last night. It was so perfect. For people that have thoughts that something won't work for them, it's going to be true to that person. And it's going to be true to that person because they tapped into the spiritual law that what they believe, what they meditate on comes to pass. But the same power you put behind believing the wrong things is the same power that you can utilize to believe the right things, to believe what you actually want. And yes, those things will manifest. It's already done. We just have to build ourselves up to believe that. And how do we do that? Well, how does faith come? Y'all know I'm a teacher. I need y'all to interact with me, okay? I'm used to live audiences, okay? How does faith come? Faith comes by hearing. So you have to be able to hear what you want on a consistent basis. Even if that means you have to record yourself and do your own audio affirmation, do it. But you have to constantly be hearing what you want. You have to constantly be seeing what you want, because now it builds your faith up in that arena. I've shared this story many times before. Before I ever started traveling with Les Brown, I would watch his videos every single day. And it was like, I want to say it was less than a year that I was doing this, right? I was watching it every time I would have lunch. I would go down to the restaurant in my dad's house, and I would go and I would watch his videos. And what it did for me consistently was I was building my faith on what he was saying to get me out of the situation that I was in. But then it also kept building my faith and me believing that I could actually travel with this man. Like, it went from saying, you know what, I'm going to meet him one day. From then saying, you know what, I'm going to work with him one day. To no, I'm going to tour with him one day. And the more that I would watch and listen, it became so much more real to me that I felt it. I saw us in the limo and in the private cars going from tour to from event to speaking engagements and to restaurants and joking. And I saw all of that, but not only did I see it, I felt it. And literally less than a year later, it happened. So that was real in the spirit. It was already done in the spirit. I had to tone in and align with it. And I aligned by building my belief up on it, listening all the time, watching, having a clear, concise image, and living into the image. This is what we have to realize. If the word tells us that God is the Alpha and the Omega, which means the beginning and the end, he sees the end from the beginning, we have to remember that we are also like him. So if we are also like him, we then can see our end from our beginning. How do we see our end from our beginning? In our imagination. We see our end from our beginning in our imagination. So I can picture what I want. And then the word also lets me know that he'll give me my expected end. Are y'all getting this? He's going to give me my expected end. Well, for me to have an expected end, I have to expect something, and I expect by creating a feeling of excitement. I created a feeling of excitement based off of what is that I'm seeing, thinking, and feeling. So now I'm going to get it because I can already see it. I'm already where it's at. And because I'm already where it's at spiritually, I can be alpha right now in the beginning and tap into my omega and bring it all the way back. Oh, that was good. I'll give myself an offering. Come on, somebody. Come on here, Holy Spirit. So that's how it works. So I want to challenge you to align with your desire and steward over it. Guard it. Don't let anyone speak over it that is contrary to what you're believing. Don't engage in conversations or limiting beliefs about what you want. It may sound crazy as all get up. There may be absolutely no way in the world that you can see it coming to pass. That could be a very real fact, but it's not the truth. Remember, there's a difference. It's not the truth. It could be a fact, but it's not the truth. The truth reigns supreme. And so when I take time to visualize myself at my expected end, to speak in my expected end as if it's already done. That's why many of you have to watch how you do your affirmations. A lot of you are not doing affirmations properly. You're speaking in present tense. Affirmations are always now. Affirmations are always in present tense. So you have to speak that thing now. It's already done. My intro song says what? I'm a millionaire. It doesn't say, I'm gonna be a millionaire. Money. No. I'm a millionaire. That's what it says. Even that's how I was just thinking about you. Look how I manifested you just like that. You literally went in my mind. I'm telling you, when you start doing this for real, y'all will see how quick stuff could really happen. When you master this thing, son, it could happen real fast. I'm telling you that. When you master it and you really get out of that old way, things happen. Just like you'll think something and it happens. And it's been so amazing how lately things have been escalating so much faster for me. People will be coming to my mind. Then they'll call. I'll have a dream about something, and it's just like, that's where I'm at. And when you hone in on that thing, I'm promising you, there's a version of yourself. Oh my gosh, that if only you knew. And that version of yourself is a God presence in you. That version of yourself is the spirit you. Amen, Sean. That's right. Say that. Black women are so valuable, special, strong, and deserve respect. Yes, we do. So when you notice these things happening, those are all the clues and confirmation that the big thing that you think is so big is about to happen. And the truth is, the big thing is not that big. You're just telling yourself that it's super big, right? Because come on, do you think that God creating the earth and giving you $1 million is like anything different? He didn't see it as anything different. It's all about who you become in the process. We are the change makers. We are the ones that make it happen. This is why we see we're introduced to Jesus as a baby, right? But then 12 years go by and it's like, whoa, what happened? We come back and it's like, okay, he's a whole adult. Right? We see him at 12 again when he goes into, he gets lost while he's walking with his family. And then boom, he's an adult. He comes into the synagogue and announces himself. Why? Because he was becoming. He was learning himself. And when you learn yourself, there is nothing more powerful than someone who knows who the bleep they are. There's nothing more powerful than that. When you know who you are for real, there's nothing that anyone can do to you, right? So you have to align by believing that the things that you don't see are more real than the things that you actually see. You have to start talking like it, acting like it. And so the mom look, I'm not even sure what that means. But you have to align with that thing before it happens. Act like it. If you know that you've been called to wealth, go around the rich areas. Drive around. Look at the homes. Go find you a good realtor that doesn't need your proof that you've been approved. Right? Go to these areas and feel the energy. Go to a high-end restaurant, and if all you have is just enough for a glass of water or an appetizer, go. But embrace the feeling. Let someone serve you. Know what that feels like. That opulence. I mean, it changes your whole perspective. And once you tap into that, you can't go backwards. You know that, oh my gosh, this is how I'm supposed to be treated. This is the life I'm supposed to have. That's awesome, Deneen. I hope I said your name properly. That's what you do. And now you make that more real in the natural. You going to these restaurants, you going to these stores, you going and being around those people that have the means. Oh, honey, it does something to you. You can't go back. And now you've captured the feeling. And now that you've captured the feeling, you must steward the feeling. Don't let it go. You guard that thing. You guard it and you build and you add on to it. And stay consistent. And watch things come into place. I'm promising you. People will come that you need to help you get there. Ideas will come that you need. You're like, well, how do I do this? Boom, you get a download. It's like, oh my gosh, I have the exact plan now. Don't focus on how. How is not important. The how is so not important. The belief is everything, though. The belief and the imagination is everything. Everything is created from faith and imagination. I need you to get this. In fact, you type this right now. Everything is created from faith and imagination. And when you're able to build your faith and utilize this tool right here called your mind, your imagination, literally nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible to what? To them who believe. That's the word. Nothing is impossible to them who believe. So guard your belief, right? Play with your mind. Let there be no limits. Let there be no limits. It's free up here, okay? Some of y'all give people real estate up here that don't even belong. They need to evict people in some, okay? Yes, yes, yes. You have to evict some people from your mind right now. Some thoughts, evict them, put the marshals there and get them all out, right? And replace it with a desire and watch it come to fruition. I'm telling you what I know. I'm not telling you what I just read, what I heard. I'm telling you what I know, what I've created several times. Praise God, Deneen. And so it's time for you to get to that next place. It's time for you to shift. It's time for you to align with certain people. That's another part of aligning with your desire, is aligning with the right people. That's right. Can get them out ASAP. You have to be able to align with the right people. Aligning with the right people can expedite things so much for you. Because what happens is you come into agreement. The power of agreement is really strong. I don't have time to go into the law of agreement, all that kind of stuff, right? You're going to have to hire me as your coach for that. But when you do that, you literally can move fast. This is why the word says, when you come as touching and agreeing, it's already established, right? It's already established. So when you align with those people, you connect with the right people, it'll take you to that next place, right? All the millionaires that I have on my phone, what do you think happens now? Right? What do you think happens? And naturally, you become your surrounding, right? That's how I've been able to manifest the millionaires in my phone, the people of high influence that I have in my phone, the people that I've been able to work with, the people that I've had clients, how I manifest and the opportunities of people in my life. And I also made sure that I put myself in certain environments. I put myself in certain rooms to be around certain people to say, here, let's talk. Here's my number. Let's go have lunch. Hello, somebody. I invested to be in many of those rooms. And because, and this is the thing, I need you to catch this. I invested to be in many of those rooms. But because I had already been doing the work before I could get in a room, I could show up, and now it looks like I already belong. They will see you as, oh, you're one of us. Do you know so-and-so? I'm telling you, they now it's like, oh, you need to talk to this person. I will never forget this. When I spent the day with actress and comedian Monique, we were here in New York City, and this is when she was doing the Oxygen show. And they were doing this whole big Oxygen network. Different people that had different shows on the network were there. And literally, she was introducing me to people. And the edification, she had, forget network marketing edification. She had edification on fleek, okay? She was introducing me to everybody. And she was like, this is the next big thing right here. This is it. You need to know Sharita. Like, and people, they just took her word for it. I didn't have nothing then. I didn't have anything but belief. I hadn't written any best-selling books yet. I hadn't gone on tour with Les Brown yet. I don't even think I had an actual business at that time. I don't even remember what was going on, but my belief made it so. Even manifesting her. This is going too long. I will talk about that another day. Talk about that another day. But the point that I'm making is this. Align with the right people. Align with the right thoughts by being intentional about it all and watch it come to fruition. And if you don't know, I'm one of the people that you want to align with. But I'm not for everybody. That's just big facts. I am not for everybody, okay? But if I'm for you, I'm for you. And if you're for me, you're for me. If you're part of my tribe, you're part of my tribe. And your life is definitely going to get better if you are aligned with me. That's just big facts, okay? So whether you're someone that's just looking to make extra money because it's a holiday season, you want to make $300 a day copy and pasting, $120 a day copy and pasting, whether you want a coach to help you get to that next level, then you need to get in my inbox because it's time to do so. The year is almost over. And now is the time for you to align with your true self to finish this year strong, but moreover, getting to the new year as a totally different person to have everything that actually belongs to you that's already written for you. How about that? It's already done, right? So if you would like to work with me personally, you want to get to the bag, honey, I can help you do that. So get in my inbox. If you're watching from YouTube, you can email sharitaleon@gmail.com or find me on Facebook and I can assist you with that. I thank you all for joining me tonight. Until next time, only believe it till the end and go get your life. Be blessed, y'all.
I'm a millionaire, money better cases. I ain't gotta chase it.